So we're about to do a presentation on of the Nigerian students for independent study.
Permit me to stand in the existing protocol. My name is Felix Eugene Nanadozi, a student of Same University, maybe department. As a Nigerian, because Nigeria is made up of three major tribal categories we have in Nigeria, which is Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. So, as a Nigerian, historical knowledge, we have been facing so many challenges, conflicts, tribal conflicts, which I believe that even caused the Civil War in 1967. So, before the Nigerian independence in 1960, ethnic and religious divisions were prevalent due to this diverse and ethnic composition, with major tribes being Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. Land disputes and intertribal conflicts were common, and over 500 ethnic groups created a complex social dynamic. Post-independence inequality, regional favoritism, and political marginalization fueled tension, leading to coup and the 1967 to 1970 Civil War. Current challenges include political polarization, insecurity such as terrorism, banditry, farmer herders clashes, and economic disparity. This research emphasizes the need for meaningful dialogue to address Nigeria's disunity and to restore national unity and confidence among its citizens. So, these are some research questions we have on this research. How does meaningful dialogue restore the unity of the country, Nigeria? How do we harness the multiplicity of ethnic and religious groups in Nigeria to build a more united front? So these are some research objectives of this paper. The intention of this research is to find the best possible solution to the most common problems saddening Nigeria, which are ethnic and religious diversity. In other words, this research aims to number one, understand the implication of being a multi-religious and multi-ethnic country. Number two, to leverage meaningful dialogue as a credible means of bringing together the whole country, irrespective of tribe, tongue, or religion. Four, galvanize the unity of the country and hence address the economic and security issues crippling the country. Number four, to resolve already accumulated conflicts and address grievances through meaningful dialogue. The literature review of this paper. The literature review underscores the pivotal role of meaningful dialogue in addressing Nigeria's multifaceted challenges. Abubakar 2018 highlights the importance of dialogue in managing religious conflicts, emphasizes the need for continuous engagement between religious leaders and communities. In this aspect, what Abubakar is trying to tell us is in bringing the religious leaders and communities on a dialogue, know their grievances, they hear their views, and find out a solution to their problems. Adebayo 2020 points to dialogue as a means of reducing political polarization, while Ademiran 2015 demonstrates how dialogue has been successfully used in conflict resolution in various Nigerian contexts. Together, these scholars make a compelling case for meaningful dialogue as the shortest diplomatic route to peace and progress in Nigeria. For a dialogue to be effective, however, it must be inclusive, transparent, and accompanied by trust-building initiative. Only then can Nigeria achieve the national unity and development that has been eluded in it for so long. Let's talk about the trust building. As a Nigerians, me personally, or everybody here, we have many of us have lost trust on the government because most times when individuals or even journalists trying to air their views or trying to say their mind, they will be intimidated. They will be intimidated. Some as sometimes says using a state police, DSS to intimidate them. So that scares some citizens to air their views, to say their mind. And I believe it's also causing some conflicts in the country. The research methodology. This research utilized a research design, the qualitative survey approach, and a questionnaire instrument was used to collect data, which was augmented with in-depth interview for qualitative data. This research was centered on the three major regions of the country. This research was centered on the three major regions of the Nigerian Federation. The research examined within the context of Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba the impact of meaningful dialogue and how it will help restore peace and encourage sustainable development in Nigeria. Journals, textbooks, magazines, newspapers, websites, published and unpublished works, are examples of secondary data employed in the research. Some problem statements of the research. Nigeria has a multi-ethnic and multi-religious state with so much division and issues of lack of trust among our members leads a better way to resolving the disunity and the constant outbreak of conflict that has hindered its growth and development since 1960, when she got her independence. The past independent war from 1967 to 1970 threw the country even 10 times backwards. So many other problems like kidnapping, ethnic differences, header farmer clashes, to mention but a few, have created so many negative feelings of disunity and distrust around the country. The major problem is that there has been a failed or no attempts to sit down for a meaningful dialogue in the country to discuss the issues causing disunity in the country. The resultant effect is a further breakdown of the whatever is remaining in the country unity, which leads to agitation here and there. Ebuchu 2019 opined that dialogue as a cooperative approach to social relations is about harnessing actors' potentials for mutual gains through the process of integrative bargaining, leading to a win-win outcome. In fact, he recommended the acceptance and appreciation of dialogue as a way of life of movements all over the world. Leo Igwe 2018, writing an inter-religious dialogue in the Guardian newspaper, accepted that there is a need for pursue a more meaningful dialogue in the country. In fact, we need to know if there are actually any form of dialogue going on in the country, going on in any form in the Nigeria. Conclusion: meaningful dialogue is undeniable and the most effective diplomatic route to achieving peace and progress in Nigeria. As a nation with deep-rooted ethnic, religious, and political divisions, Nigeria's challenges are multifaceted. However, the same challenges present opportunities for dialogue-driving solutions that can foster unity and inclusivity. Through open and constructive conversations, meaningful dialogue addresses the root causes of conflicts, helping to bridge divides and build trust among Nigerians' diverse groups. The government the civil society organization, and the international actors all play pivotal roles in promoting dialogue. By implementing policies that foster inclusiveness, justice, and reconciliation, the government can facilitate conversation that heal long-term standing grievances. Civil society organizations contribute by organizing grassroots initiatives that promote understanding and acceptance. International support can enhance this effort by providing mediation and resources for sustainable dialogue. Having said all this is my view, my recommendation I have for this research. The research identifies meaningful dialogue as the most effective method for addressing Nigeria's persistent disunity and achieving lasting peace and progress. The key findings: religious and ethnic conflicts in Nigeria can only be resolved through dialogue involving major stakeholders to address grievances and find common grounds. Nigeria's ethnic and religious diversity can be harnessed to improve its economic and cultural standing, while political polarization and mistrust can hinder dialogue. Meaningful dialogue is the solution to these obstacles. It is crucial for the Nigerian government to prioritize dialogue over military actions when addressing conflicts, as the dialogue fosters trust, reduces animosity, and creates an environment for peace and development. Like for instance, October 20th, 2020, or 2020, yeah, if I can remember. There was a protest that happened in Nigeria, which I believe that Nigeria government can apply in a dialogue with the youth, which at the end of the day, they were forced. They used the military actions on them, which caused the lives of the youth and properties. So I believe if I think the government applies the meaningful dialogue and know their grievances, the conflict would have been settled peacefully. Thank you.
Okay. Very good. Any questions from the floor?
Okay, let me ask. Thank you very much for your presentation. In the first instance, do you think all the problems in Nigeria, let me put it this way, governments should be blamed for all the problems in Nigeria?
Okay, sir, thank you. Any problem that can, any conflict, let me just say, any problem that can be that disastrous, or even take lives of a citizen, I think the government should intervene and find a solution to the conflict, even at the stage of having a dialogue between the both parties. I think that the Nigerian government can have a contribution to it.
Okay, so thank you very much. I think for me, I accept the answer. So the situation you are citing, does it mean that there was no dialogue between government and the people and protesters? And again, can you assure us that protesters actually are doing the correct thing, and they know their left and their right, and when to protest and why they are protesting, and follow the rules of protest?
Okay. Maybe other ways, other solutions for the problem are applied, but I believe if they apply a meaningful dialogue, they will achieve their aim, and I believe all the conflicts will be resolved.
Okay, sir.
Felix, thank you very much. It's a very interesting topic. When we talk about conflicts result from greed and grievance, and disagreements, right? So when we talk about that, there could be internal factors which definitely can be resolved or addressed by meaningful dialogue. But then there are external issues like Adam Smith's invisible hand. No? So Nigeria is a land of resources and opportunities. So there will be invisible hand, the external agents or external powers that probably sometimes you cannot ignore, and meaningful dialogue will do very little to resolve those. But overall, I would say from the academic point of view, it's good to agree that meaningful dialogue will bring in peace. But don't forget the ex officio reasons like invisible hand and other things. I don't want to say any further. I'm not an expert on Nigerian affairs. That's what I'm saying. Conflict does not result in from the internal factors alone. But then there are many other unseen factors. It's like an iceberg. The tip of the iceberg is smaller, but there's a big chunk of immovable things. Those are also there. Thank you very much.
Particularly invisible hand. Well,
I don't see.
external power. My personal feeling, meaningful dialogue is a good one. And it's correct. It can solve all the issues. But in practice, how to make it meaningful.
That's another.
Practice.
Yeah, in practice.
Okay, sir, I will tell you, actually, the dialogue we are talking about is someone open up his grievances, saying what is in his or in her mind. But I believe if me and you are having issues and we have a external body to settle us, from our hearts, we decided to settle this issue. I don't think after settling, I'll still have, I'll put it in action. I don't think I will have any issue with you again. So it can be put in action to get the dialogue solved, the problem solved.
The next question.
We have a government staff here, so.
Okay. The question was more like an addition or the reality. Now, if dialogue will solve all the problems on the diplomatic route, do you think that diplomatic channels are going to solve the trade war between the United States and China? You know, they've been there for a while, so do you think diplomatic dialogue can solve the trade war between the US and China?
The issue of China and the US, I think, is very critical at this level.
So you agree with me that
So what I thought about is
So which means diploma.
there's an extent, right?
as an extent.
That's thank you.
I think something we have to agree is when we talk about dialogue, it's about bringing in the different fronts. The problem with when we talk about Nigeria, like the professor asked, will the problem be solved by the government alone? Or is the government the only cause of the problem? I would say yes. Because the government has a system. And for you to solve a systemic problem, it takes power. It takes power to organize the dialogue even. 2014, the then president of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, tried to organize a dialogue between the various ethnic groups. It was called the Great Dialogue. And I think so far, in my understanding, that's one of the best things that happened to Nigeria, because so many things we never knew was happening in Nigeria, so many things we thought so many things that were hidden from the public, we are revealed in that, and so many grievances we addressed. Unfortunately, not all of them were addressed. But that is why continuous dialogue is necessary. So when we say meaningful, when we add that word meaningful to the dialogue, it removes just dialogue. it brings conclusion to the dialogue, which means, and when we say conclusion, it means we keep dialogue until we get to a meaningful dialogue. And that meaningful dialogue may not come today, it may not come in our century, it may come later, but that meaningful dialogue will be started first of all. The problem is that it has not started. And the one that started was, closed down somehow. So when we say like the government of Nigeria is the problem, I refer to Chinua Achebe, the author of Things Fall Apart, who said that the problem of Nigeria is squarely the problem of leadership. When there is a good leader at the seat, he knows what to do. I was just from the class now, and somebody made a presentation, and she brought out two hypotheses. One, a good leader. Can a good leader change the society? Number two, if the society is good, can a good leader destroy the society? And these two possibilities, society changing the leader and the leader changing the society. In fact, for me to define a leader, what defines you is your ability to cause change. If you are not able to cause change as a leader, then it is not possible to be a good leader. You shouldn't even be on the seat of leadership. So the problem of Nigeria is squarely the problem of leadership. No matter how we try to, defend ourselves or defend the government, trying to push it back to ourselves, because the problem is we keep blaming ourselves for what the government should do. There are things we should do for ourselves. There are things that are remaining for the government. So thank you.
As it's just only discussion, I have no question. If paper, impact of